Let's go to the story right there. So Fox News, this is all over the place. Mark Cuban says he would buy Fox News and X if he had an in, okay? Go up a little bit for me to read this time. I'm going to come to you first here. Mark Cuban says he would buy Fox News and X, formerly Twitter, but purchasing both media properties remains a distant possibility for the Shark Tank star. He told Wired Lauren Good that Fox News was too expensive and Elon Musk was unlikely to sell X, as if Fox is worth more than X. The Shark Tank star, Mark Cuban, says he would buy Fox News and X if he could. Cuban expressed his interest in acquiring both media properties during a wide-ranging interview that was published. If I had enough money to do it, which I don't, I'd buy it in a heartbeat, both of them. So he knows, by the way, I mean, my generation was sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I never thought they would be the Fox News generation, Cuban told New York Times. Keep going lower. People I knew were smoking pot, listening to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and protest songs. The idea that those are the people condemning Black Lives Matter and watching Fox News in droves, it's upsetting to me. You have no idea. But Cuban said Fox News will be far too expensive of an investment. Should it even come up on the market, he estimates a net acquisition about $15 to $20 billion. I don't have $15 to $20 billion in cash sitting around. Getting X is also a distant possibility. I wish I could. There's no reason for him to sell it. Anyway, so Tom, when you hear this, what's he doing here? Is he trying to get eyeballs, or is he being intentional? Is he just being straight up?
This is a poke at Elon. Mark Cuban is attempting to get attention and to inject himself into as many conversations as he can. And I love his answer here. You know, I was around in college when people were smoking pot and listening to Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Okay. And now they're watching Fox News and everything. Oh, so Mark, so it bothers you when people grow up and mature and are worried about crime, taxes, and immigration. I'm sorry, Mark. It worries that these people grow up and take a new viewpoint and find a channel that they like that is covering the news without bias on topics they like. So he's injecting himself into this, but I think you got to look at some of his statements because the reflection's not there. So you would buy, so look, let me see if I understand this. You would buy Fox News to destroy the ratings by changing the programming. Well, that's fine. You know, that is sort of the liberal playbook. That's what happened. That's what Zaslav did to CNN. You know, he bought something, destroyed the ratings. So Cuban is looking for attention. It was a boring day, and he goes in with this. And then, oh, I would buy X. What would you do if you bought X? Oh, you would turn it back. You'd turn it back into something else. So if you don't like what they're saying, you buy them and shut them down or change them. That's not a very good look for Mark.
Vinny.
I don't know. I think from the video that we saw last week, Pat, about him with Trump, I think Tom just nailed it. Anything to be in the news, anything to be relevant. I mean, think about it. Trump, another assassination attempt on Trump, and then out comes Mark Cuban talking about I want to buy this and buy that. He's even saying he doesn't have the money. Yeah, I don't have the money, but I would. It's like he needs to just go away. I think you know what this is, Pat? Having too much money and you have nothing to do. He has nothing to do with it. And I get what you said. I know we talked about him potentially having a run, which, you know what? If he wasn't so like left-sided and kind of going, you know, TDS, that'd be someone that I would actually consider. But this type of mentality, this type of like, you know, TDS brain, I don't even know how to call it, deformation. I'm not a fan of that.
Although I think he's suffering more from EDS.
What's
Elon.
That? Oh yeah. Oh well.
Is it more TDS or is it more EDS?
I think with Cuban, it's more EDS because Elon's ahead of him. Mark Cuban's very competitive. Elon's way ahead of him. That probably bothers him a lot once he get into the stage, thinking about running.
And ahead, Pat, yeah, well, you can't catch him though. Elon's literally a rocket ship. Like he's a rocket ship.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. Literally. You're not going to catch that dude, bro. Like stay in your lane.
I just think Cuban is, you know how you talk about phases of life? We all have seasons of life, right? From 0 to 20, just don't mess it up. 20 to 40, go make your money. 40 to 60, work on your purpose. And then 60 plus, leave a legacy, give back, everything with that. I think he's sort of on the tail end of 3 entering 4. Just look at the last 20, 25 years of Mark Cuban's life. He bought the Mavericks in 2000 for $280 million. Okay. They're now valued at $3.5 billion. Mm-hmm. Clearly the guy did well on his investment. He sold a large portion of it to Miriam Adelson, the late widow of Sheldon Adelson, the multi-billion-dollar magnate out there in Vegas, the casino guy. You know, I don't know exact percentage of what he sold to the Mavericks. I think he's still the controlling owner. I don't know the exact number, but he was the main guy, and now there seems to be some partnership there. But Mark is worth $6 billion. He's looking at the landscape. Is this what it is? 27%. Cuban retains 27%. So he's not even the controlling managing partner of the Mavericks right there. What's my point? This is his last season on Shark Tank.
No, he remains in charge of basketball operations, so control of the basketball operations.
Okay, so he remains control, but
he does.
He still retains 27%.
He's just not
stake.
a majority owner.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. He's the managing partner, but doesn't own control. But I think this is the last season that he's doing Shark Tank. He came out and announced this is, I think, the 16th season, I want to say, of Shark Tank. He's saying this is my last one. Here it is. He's announced at his podcast last week that he will leave Shark Tank after this.
He has a
upcoming
podcast?
year. Exactly.
On a podcast.
On a podcast.
Yeah.
So my point is this. We've talked about Cuban a bunch of times over the last few weeks, months, what have you. He's clearly looking for his next venture.
Yeah.
It's no longer going to be Shark Tank. He's probably not going to focus on the Mavericks. And he's clearly trying to go the media political route. And I think he's sort of a man without a home because I said a white billionaire is not exactly the archetype of the current Democratic Party.
Here's what I would say. A couple things about Mark. There's levels in every game. I have money. I don't have Mark type of money. Mark has money. Mark doesn't have Musk type of money. It's a very different type of money. Mark's worth $5 billion, right? Elon's worth $250 billion.
Jeez.
One can buy a sports team. The other one can buy a small country. These are two different levels of wealth we're talking about, right? On what's going on. So that's frustrating. The part that I think with Mark is, what is one of the most annoying things in life that only you go through? Is you ever hear me talk about ambitious yet lazy?
Yes.
You hear ambitious and lazy? I think Mark sits there and says, I put 20 years into the Mavs, right? He's owned the Mavs for how long, Tom? 20 years?
Since 2000, yes. 24 years.
Mark's a smart guy. Okay, Mark's a smart guy. But Mark bought a team at what age? How old was Mark when Mark bought a sports team?
He's probably in his early 40s because he's, 65 now? How old is Mark?
Mark bought a sports team. Mark is how old right now? He's 66. When did he buy the Mavs? Did he buy them in 2000?
So he's 42.
So 42. So he bought the Mavs.
It's a beast move.
It is a beast move. However, there's a big difference. There's a big difference. He bought the Mavs to operate it on a daily basis, okay? When you do that, you are going to make some money. But to make the kind of money that's 100x, 200x, 300x, that's you have to run a business like a Tesla. You have to start it. It's a startup. It's all of that stuff. He didn't do that. He could have done that. He didn't choose to do that. He chose to take his money from Yahoo. And then after Yahoo lost all their money that they gave to him, that business was worth not much based on what you read about, zero. It was worth, can you imagine they give him the money that they give him 6 months later, they park it. The business is gone. Nothing. Wow. So he wants to compete with two guys and he missed the mark. Now, again, he's 66. Trump ran for president in 2016 and won. That's only 8 years ago. He was 70 years old. Mark Cuban's going to be 70 in 4 years. He is one of the leading candidates that I think is going to run for office in 2028. And by the way, when the interview comes out with The Rock, which is coming out tomorrow, by the way, the whole interview is going to come out to The Rock tomorrow. And you guys will see the conversation about, it's going to be very, very, so one question I asked The Rock about his audience, I think Mark would need to ask the same question about it as well, but that comes out tomorrow. I think Mark's Cuban wiring and values and principles would be more of a fit for him to buy CNN and TikTok over buying X and Fox, because CNN and TikTok are more about controlling speech and propaganda and things like that, and he would do well in an environment like that.
And ESG.
Yeah, I think that's his.
Pat, what was your specific comment of being ambitious and lazy?
He's not the kind of a worker that Musk is. He's not. Musk is different. Okay, Musk is different. He's not at Musk's level of work ethic. He's not. He's more the entertainer. Okay. And the level of intelligence that Musk has is just different. Look, you can be upset and sit there and say whatever you want to say. That guy's worth $250 million. You're worth $5 billion. Okay, it's 50x. We may put the biggest election night event together outside of whatever Kamala and Trump is going to do. We're probably going to put the third biggest one there. You're going to want to be there. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be wild. It's going to be insane. It'll be a lot of fun, creativity, craziness. But here's the thing. To attend it, you're going to have to buy a ticket to go to it, obviously. The tickets are not going to be, vault type of tickets where you're spending, 15, 20, 25K. We're not talking that. It'll be lower amount tickets that we're doing. However, a barrier to enter. When you come in, you have to wear Future Looks Bright gear. We want the room to be filled with people wearing Future Looks Bright gear. So for some of you that want to fly out November 5th, when I tell you what it is and the announcement is finalized, it's going to be crazy. If you don't yet own Future Looks Bright gear, all you have to go get something. Guys, we have a girl, one of Adam's colleagues, posts a video about her wearing this red Valuetainment hat. And she's walking around. It's like everybody's stopping her and says, "You're also Valuetainer? You're also Future?" I am. It's amazing what's taking place. Vinny, yesterday, if you want, are you comfortable sharing your story? Go ahead.
I had surgery yesterday back at work, because that's how we roll. I had a big cyst removed from my lower back, and I'm in, getting ready pre-op. All the needles are on my arm. I'm ready to go in. A Cuban guy eating a protein bar walks by, stops in his tracks, and goes, "Mira, Vicente Pipipaca," and then he leaves. He grabs 7 people, Tom. I'm surrounded by 7 people, and all they're talking about is how glad and happy they are that what we're doing, how amazing of a leader Pat is, and what America needs is what's happening right now. People were screaming, "Future Looks Bright" in the back, and then one Haitian lady looks at me and goes, "I want you to tell Adam, thank you for sticking up for the Haitians, because not all of us eat cats." And I go, "But some people do in Springfield." But Pat, the movement, no joke. And I wanted to address this too, Pat. What you're doing, what you've started, what you've built. I can't even go. Besides coffee, I'm nervous because I'm about to go in there and I could die on an operating table. And I had a group of 7 people around me talking about Valuetainment and your vision and what Valuetainment is doing.
So Vinny, what was that story about? And by the way,
he's like, "Oh, all of us are slackers, huh?"
Look, if you support what we do, which we appreciate, if you believe Future Looks Bright, we want 1 million people worldwide to sport this gear. So go to vtmerch.com, okay? Represent anything. We got so much gear right now. The flip-flops, we had a few more left for some of you guys. I want to pick it up. That's the only flip-flop I wear, by the way, when I walk the dog, just so you know that. My Jesus feet will only go in that flip-flop when I'm walking the dogs at night. So go to vtmerch.com, place your order. There's a bunch of new gear there as well. And if you want to come to that party on November 5th, you got to wear Future Looks Bright. We're going to make videos. It's going to be sick. It's going to be all over the place. Millions of views. It'll be a lot of fun.
They have no idea.
No,
I don't think they know what the heck you're talking about.
I can't tell them yet, but it'll be exciting when it gets finalized.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.